Hey everybody, welcome to Bad Relationship Advice with Damian and Monica, your hosts. We are real people talking about real issues, and today we're kind of excited. We've got some fan mail. We get so many people, texting us and emailing us all the time. It really takes a long time to sort through all that. But we found 3 really good ones to read to you guys today. So our first letter comes from... Well, first of all, Monica, how are you doing?
Good. All right. Well, yes, we do have all this mail. Let's go through the first one. Dear Damian and Monica, you guys are amazing. I love your show. It has changed my life. Keep it up! Exclamation point. Jill.
From Jill. Wow. Jill, you're the one who's amazing, not us. Thanks a lot,
Right.
Jill.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Jill.
All right, our next letter comes from Bob. And Bob says, "You guys suck. You should leave the advice to the real experts." Thanks a lot, Bob. We really appreciate your honesty, man.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. And we also have another letter from Ghosted Gary. And he says, I went out with this girl and we hit it off. And I texted her, and the next day I haven't heard back from her. And I'm getting really upset. Clearly, she's playing mind games. She didn't even thank me for dinner! Exclamation point. I want to text her and tell her off, but I thought I'd check with you guys first. What should I do?
Oh man, Gary, that sucks. Hate it when that happens, right? So Gary's feeling kind of angry, upset. He liked this girl. He texted her, and he hasn't heard back.
Yeah, it is tough. That kind of not knowing. It sounds like, and it looks like Gary is sort of getting pissed off. And but what does Gary know about why she's not responding?
Yeah, it's a little disturbing that he's accusing her of playing mind games when we really don't have any evidence to suggest that.
Right.
So, Gary, I think what we would recommend is that you need to do some fact checking, buddy. What do we actually know?
Yes. And if we don't do fact checking, so we know what she didn't text back. I think that's all we know.
Right. If in fact you did go out with each other and it did go well, and you texted her, those are really the only things that you know. You don't have any idea what's going on with her, right? Could there be any other reasons that she wouldn't text you back?
Right.
Otherwise, if you're coming up with situations in your head like, oh, she's decided she's not going to text me back, and she was lying to me during dinner, or she actually, she probably already has a boyfriend and she was just messing around. You could be coming up with all these narratives in your head. And again, they're not based on anything that you actually know, but then you're going to be reacting to what you are thinking instead of what you actually know. And that's going to, this could backfire.
Especially if you become offended and if you tell her off and all of this. So the drama in your head creates another drama with her, and then she could be responding to how you're reacting. So it's kind of everything that you've sort of created in your head can actually take on its own reality and conflict and so on. And so sometimes it could also be like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you're expecting to become rejected by someone because of something that may have happened in the past, and automatically when there's like this idea that this person isn't calling me back because they're rejecting me, they're just like everyone else, then you respond to that, this kind of drama or this narrative that we've already created. Then what ends up happening is that reaction based on that versus the non-reaction could again create that drama. So it could be something we've internalized based on past experiences that are constantly being recreated because of our reaction to a given situation.
You're setting yourself up for the same thing to happen again.
Right. And even if worst case scenario, she's not interested, don't take it personally. And that seems hard to do. It seems strange to think it, but in those terms, but don't take it personally in terms of if you've done your best and you feel like you've hit it off. Well, it taking it personally is like, it's just a question of it not being a good fit. Not
Right.
It's not because you're not good enough. It's because it's not a good fit.
Yeah, it's not about you at all. It's about her. You could have been the most charming, intelligent guy in the world, but for some reason she's not feeling confident about herself, or maybe she does have something going on. You just do not know. So you don't want to react to what you think she's thinking or feeling, because you just don't know it. And if you don't hear from her, then you have to just give yourself permission to let it go.
Right. And someone else may consider you a good fit. It's like going into a shoe store and like you go in and you want some winter boots. It doesn't mean that the sneakers are not good enough. It's just are not what you're looking for at the moment. So it's just looking at it from that perspective. It's the other issue of just internalizing, like we did about our show. We got criticism and we got praise, and it just shows that you can't really take it personally. It's there's a difference between some people are going to like something, other people aren't, and that's just the way it is.
Right. Anytime you create something, you're going to have your critics and you're going to have your supporters. So the danger is, it's kind of like taking poison, right? When you take something personally, you're taking it internally, and it's going to poison you in one way or the other. If someone criticizes what you do and you take it personally, it's going to affect the next thing that you put out. It's going to affect your self-opinion. It's going to affect, how you pursue your whatever work you're doing. And the same way can happen if you take the poison of praise. Like if someone's telling you that your stuff is awesome, you take that too much to heart, and then suddenly you're going to start thinking that everything you do is great, and you don't have to put the same level of effort or work into it.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can also become addicted to a praise. And once we start becoming addicted to the praise, then it becomes like a drug. And so we feel a certain high when we get a praise. And this could be just on anything, right? Social media, when we post something on social media, people are giving us a bunch of likes, we feel great. But then when they don't, we feel terrible.
Right.
And so
your self-image starts to depend on other people's feedback, and that's kind of the poison part of it. That's why you kind of have to maintain a separation between who you are and what you're doing and what other people think of it.
Right. I mean, the extreme form of that would be narcissism. It's like taking everything personally.
Right. Making every single thing about yourself, no matter what somebody's talking about, you only see it through a lens that somehow affects you. And so you're completely at the mercy of other people's ideas.
Right. And, we could think of, the difference between, doing and being in terms of, for example, our jobs, thinking of our jobs as, our job title as who we are. And
right. I am a teacher. I teach people, right? Or I am a doctor. I heal people.
Right. If you think about it, though, this is a concept that's changing. So what happens when you're no longer a teacher or a doctor? So who are you then? You're still, who is that person that you are? I mean, that you can't define yourself by things that are constantly changing. And when we associate ourselves with the doing, our being with the doing, then when someone, for example, we talk about our jobs and someone doesn't want to hear about it, we start to take offense because we hear it as they're not interested in us.
Right, which then means that somehow you don't think I'm an interesting person. what it actually means is you just don't like talking about work in general. It has nothing to do with you.
Right. So having the doing considering the doing as an extension of ourselves can be dangerous in that way. And that is also kind of like the taking the poison in terms of, taking personal offense when someone's either not interested in our work or criticizes it or whatnot. It's not who we are. But once we believe that it's who we are, then the criticism can crush us, or being ignored can make us feel terrible. Or the praise might make us then addicted to it, and we're constantly seeking it out. So by not taking things personally, it also allows us more freedom. So, for example, if we're doing some sort of art, to take risks, to do something original, as opposed to playing it safe, as opposed to doing something just to please the audience.
When you see people who are creating music or photographs or whatever on social media just for the likes, you know that you're not actually seeing something from that person.
Right.
And by the way, our Instagram is full of incredibly creative, original artwork by us and our other artists. And we don't give a fuck what you think about it.
And if we actually base it on likes, we probably wouldn't be putting anything up. But so maybe we can leave a quote with David Bowie at Bad Relationship Advice. Our interview with him, what was it, 1970?
Yeah, late 1970s, yes.
Late 1970s, right? When we asked him about
advice that he would give to other artists or
right.
budding artists.
Yes, never play to the gallery. I think, but you never learn that until much later on, I think. But never work for other people at what you do. Always remember that the reason that you initially started working was that there was something inside yourself that you felt that if you could manifest it in some way, you would understand more about yourself and how you coexist with the rest of society. And I think it's terribly dangerous for an artist to fulfill other people's expectations. I think they generally produce their worst work when they do that. And if the other thing I would say is that if you feel safe in the area that you're working in, you're not working in the right area. Always go a little further into the water than you feel you're capable of being in. Go a little bit out of your depth. And when you don't feel that your feet are quite touching the bottom, you're just about in the right place to do something exciting.